There are no words. There are no words that can do justice to the pain we've experienced this week. We know because we've read thousands of words since last Saturday. Newspaper articles and Facebook posts and emails and text messages. Thousands of words that describe but cannot explain a massacre. Every detail that emerges gives a fuller picture of the evil that has been perpetrated. The cruel, vengeful, sadistic acts of terrorists. If you're feeling just gutted, you're not alone. If you're feeling enraged, you're not alone. If you're feeling confused, fearful, numb, you're not alone. We've been carrying these feelings around with us all week, looking for relief. Some of us have thrown ourselves into reading or watching the news all day long, as if knowing all there is to know about the situation gives us some sense of control over it. Some of us have thrown ourselves into action, organizing rallies, collecting money and supplies, even considering going to Israel to fight, because the idea that we are powerless in this moment is too much to bear. Some of us have turned away from it all, afraid that the weight of this suffering might just overcome us. I know I've done all these things this week. And to be honest, none of these strategies has brought me much comfort. There is no quick cure for a broken heart. How could there be? But our faith teaches us that there is a path to healing, a long and winding one, but one that our people has taken many times before. The path begins in the darkness of our despair. It begins with a cry. Out of the depths I call to you, Adonai, writes the psalmist. When language fails us, we still raise our voices with a wail, a moan, a scream. And once we can summon at least some words, we lament. My teacher, Dr. Rachel Adler, explains, how can the broken re-enter the realm of language and speak the unspeakable? The doorway is lament. Lament can be incoherent and chaotic, picking its way through a broken rubble of unbearably vivid happenings and intolerable sensations. Its content is dangerously dark and disordered, and its meaning may be non-existent, rejected, or found wanting. And yet, she argues, the doorway through which lament enters the world is a petach tikva, a doorway of hope. Our Bible and the book of Psalms in particular teach us how to lament. This is why Jews have read Psalms during times of crisis and loss for thousands of years. Consider Psalm 13. How long, O God, will you ignore me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long will I have cares on my mind, grief in my heart all day? How long will my enemy have the upper hand? Look at me, answer me, O eternal my God. Restore the luster to my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest my enemy say I have overcome him. My foes exult when I totter. But I trust in your faithfulness. My heart will exult in your deliverance. I will sing to the eternal, for he has been good to me. In this psalm, pain and anger and hope are all jumbled together, captured in the opening nonsensical verse, how long will you ignore me forever? With the psalmist, we cry for help from a God who seems absent or indifferent, a God we want to believe we can count on, but in whom our faith is more than a little shaken. When our own words fail us, we can turn to our ancestors' words, and in their contradictory, incoherent, beautiful way, they give us the power to lament. The most powerful way to lament is as a community. In the ancient world, there were professional lamenters, women who would come to funerals to lead the community in dirges for their loved ones. The Talmud teaches that it is a grievous sin to abandon one's community during its time of distress. Rather, we should say, since the Jewish people are immersed in suffering, I too will be with them in suffering. We recognize that when we can't alleviate suffering, we can bear witness to it and help one another carry it. So we check in with our Israeli family and friends. We offer each other our listening ears and shoulders to cry on. We come to Shabbat services. This week we've seen the power of presence, of showing up for our community, even when our words and actions are woefully inadequate. There's one more step on the path to healing that I want to focus on tonight, though there are many more that will have to wait for another time. And that step is to remember to not only protect our lives and the lives of our fellow Jews, but also to protect our Jewish souls. Pirkei Avot teaches, Uvmakom she'ein anashim hishtadel liyot ish. In a place where there are no human beings, strive to be a human being. Hamas lacks basic human decency. It is abundantly clear they have no regard for human life. I know that is the biggest understatement of the day. Those who celebrate Hamas's attack, who say that their crimes are legitimate acts of political resistance, or those who say that Israel is to blame for the massacre, display a breathtaking callousness, exposing the limits of their humanity. It is appropriate and necessary for us to call out such statements when we encounter them. As Nicholas Kristof wrote this week, if your moral compass is attuned to the suffering of only one side, your compass is broken, and so is your humanity. So let us remember, it is possible for us to make the same mistake, to show indifference or disdain for human life. The desire for vengeance is a powerful, deeply human urge. And in a place where there are no human beings, it takes effort to remain a human being. However justified the actions of the Israeli government and military are in their response to the attack, which is a debate for another day, we must acknowledge, mourn, and seek to alleviate the suffering of innocent Palestinian people. To do otherwise would diminish our own humanity and betray the tradition that binds the Jewish people together. Out of the depths, we call to you, Adonai. As a community, we cry out, we lament, we rage, and still we hope. I want to conclude with a prayer, a modern psalm from Dr. Melila Hellner Eshed. God of the spirit of all flesh, here we are before you, broken spirits, torn by grief. Have mercy on us, mortals created in your image. Watch over us in a time of destruction and tragedy, terror, death, and panic. Please, please, may our compassion be revealed. May the love within us overwhelm the harsh judgment, vengeance, and evil within us. Behold, fierce, burning pain cries out, seeking revenge, not comfort. Watch over us, Shekhinah, our strength, over our scorched spirits, our terrified souls, over our completely infuriated flesh. May the divine image rise, shining like the dawn from our crushed hearts. May we have faith that we will merit to witness the goodness of the Holy One, the goodness of humankind in the land of the living. Amen.
Amen.
We'll join together in a prayer for healing. We're going to have several special prayers tonight. This is our first, our Mishaberach Lecholim. And so, in addition to the many suffering people, those who have lost loved ones, those who have suffered terrible injuries, those who are in captivity, we also hold in our hearts members of our own community who are in need of healing. Susan Aaron, Ginny Anderson, Baruch Cohen Ben Suzy, Mark Cohn, Marty Gelman, Jim Gill, Selena Glader, Moritz Huppert, Judith Ovadia, Sophia Palisban, Rabbi Lori Phillips, Bobby Rosenkrantz, Robert Silver, Stephen Avraham Simon, David Baruch Ben Simona, and Julie Sutcliffe. To those names we add.